I don't know how rapid the chaos will descend, nor
Definitely.
what will nor the response of the powers that be. I mean, we can estimate and make some general statements about how they'll respond, but whether it would be effective, whether they'll have the money to do so, and to be honest, my viewpoint is that if you're waiting for disclosure, you're a dead person
Right.
because it may never come and you'll wait infinitely until time runs out, and that might be as little as 2.5 years from now.
Right. And that's why we really should go
You have to
ahead
make
and
up
get
your own
prepared.
mind, do your own research. Don't believe a
Exactly.
thing I'm saying. Go read these people, look at the math, get a calculator and do the math. Look at how the Mayans have encoded all of this, and then you look at the constructions that Patrick Garrell has put together. I found two arithmetic errors in his work, but no mathematic errors.
Right.
And it's
Minor stuff,
math
I'm
doesn't
sure.
lie, guy. You know what can I say?
Definitely. Yeah, so that's really enlightening. But at that point, July 7th, the world could be a completely different place. Um, and then you see these new electrics, just new technology coming onto the scene. Um, can you give us any more
that that
information? I
that's
think.
going to be no. What we're dealing with now is the new electrics won't emerge until post 2013 with whatever
Okay,
remnant society is there.
right.
We think that okay. Let me explain how it works for us.
Okay,
You can imagine a pyramid of knowledge. Let's accept, say, the Illuminati numbers and say our pyramid has 13 layers, and we're sitting up making our interpretation at the top, the capstone.
right.
The further we go down in the detail layers of our data, the broader the context descriptions become. And at some point, they become absolutely meaningless because there's just too many words to choose from. So our data on the new electrics is valid down to a certain point, but beyond that point, it's more guessing than it is trend analysis. So I have to state that out
Sure.
right out front. And if we happen to guess right as to which level of details show up, then it looks pretty spectacular. But we could still get the general archetype correctly without getting the actual details of how it manifests. So, but our data suggests that over the period from 2009, from this past fall, so something happened in this fall that came out in terms of a fundamental breakthrough or announcement or something that we have yet to see the visibility within the mainstream media, but we will in 2010. That fundamental change in science is what will produce the new electrics that will exist in 2013. However, there is a possibility that it is the black ops or shadow world that MIT supports in its academic basis with all the secret projects and the government funding and so on that will actually burst out, so to speak, in 2013 among the survivors, and that will produce the new electrics. There's two possible channels that
Right.
these things could develop. Make sense?
That makes sense. I mean, the farther out it is in the future, it's harder to say absolutely. Um,
Correct. And actually, we have a much better, when we use immediacy data, we have a much better forecasting ability for 3 days out to 3 months. But we do actually get fairly good in some of our long range stuff. The new electrics are going to be very interesting, but we've got to get there first. And it's
right.
going to be rather chaotic between now and then.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I've seen things, Cliff, let me tell you, that they don't make sense as far as the second law goes. Second law of
Oh, sure. No, no,
thermodynamics.
that's except in the case of space goat farts. That's how they manage to the space goats. That's how they move from one giant mutant space goats move from one area of space to the other is using Newton's second law. But they're the only ones that are really traveling that way.
Yeah, yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I hope I make it to that point.
Well, also now we can say from current levels of data, by the way, just doing a historical analysis, that the shadow world achieved their success probably in February or March of 1956. 1956 is real solid. The February to March realm is a little bit of a guess, but we think that was when they actually conquered an understanding of gravitics and were able to create anti-gravity and perpetual, or not perpetual motion, but zero-point energy.
Wow.
And now, of course, they've been keeping it secret and refining it, and we could really use it.
Yeah,
And
that'd
I've
be
actually
great.
seen personally, I have a set of third generation night vision goggles, and I've seen the results of that. I mean, I've seen the vessels up over my head less than 200 miles away doing fleet to fleet transfers of material.
Yeah, there's stuff going on up there. If you guys haven't seen this on YouTube, what's the guy's name to Google?
Ed Grimsley.
Okay, Ed Grimsley. Just Google that. You'll see some wild video, night vision material. That's
It's
it's
truly
inexplicable.
shocking the first time you see it going on. Yeah. and it
Yeah.
makes the whole extradition of the poor fellow Gary McKinnon absurd.
Right.
And besides which, he didn't really hack into anybody's machines. Somebody, casually left a password as password or null.
Yeah. Yeah. For you guys that don't know, Gary McKinnon was, or he's about to be extradited. I don't think he has been
Yeah, he has
extradited.
yet. He has yet. He's in his last days
Right.
as a relatively free person in England, and he's being there. The English were told to extradite him to the U.S. for actions that are not a crime in England and have yet to be proven to be a crime here in the U.S.
Wow.
And there's been no damage established. So it's basically the United States government just went on over to England and said, we want this citizen. We're going to haul him over here, and probably he's going to be suicided.
Wow. Yeah. It's just a really unfortunate story. I mean,
No, it's not unfortunate. It's a situation of malevolence and the cover your ass syndrome that these shadow people have. So
wow.
let's not make it appear to be an accident of nature.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
I could see
sorry,
that.
I've got to be rather harsh about this because again, you're dealing with a radical linguist, and to a certain extent, we're worse than lawyers.
Sure. Yeah. I could see that. That's great. Okay. Yeah, that about does it. I mean, it's really hard to say about things past July 7th when all this chaos is, just at its height or whatever. Um, but if you are able to come on, between now and then at some point and explain
Sure.
what you see in the future, that'd be really great. Um, but definitely, I'll keep in touch and be watching you on YouTube. If you want to give out your information for your website, that'd be great. Look people
Yeah,
up.
if anybody wants any of our stuff, it's at halfpasthuman.com. The reports are $10 a pop.
Just $10.
$10 for Shape of Things to Come. It used to be very expensive. We were able to cut our bandwidth costs a little bit and organize things a bit better. And besides which, we're so close to the end time here that it's just, the idea of making money is absurd. So we cut our costs as much as possible to get as many people involved as possible. It's
Right.
my hope that we might have perhaps millions of individuals that take action and survive what's coming.
Definitely. I mean, I bought the last two, and I'm gonna keep it up as long as they're coming out. So I highly recommend it. And halfpasthuman.com. And thanks so much, Cliff.
Thank you.